What's up, everyone? This is G the Hypersapien, and this is my first live video, even though technically I did one already because it was the test live. All right, so I'm probably going to be on for about an hour tonight. So I do actually have some models. So I have Snickrod I need to finish. I have Gaz Skull I need to finish. I have Mega Armored War Boss I need to finish, Killer Cans, Squig Buggy, but tonight I'm going to try and finish up my Orc Boys. Now, right, we can put this out of the way. I did share this around just to see if anyone wants to join in. Like, you can join in on the panel. I can give you you can join the actual live stream if you're interested. So then you can chat to me, or you can chat to me in the comments. Or if you do watch this after it's been live, feel free to leave comments and suggestions if you like it, if you don't like it. I do have a drink this time because yesterday I was on for like almost 3.5 hours. The old throat started getting a bit sore. It is still a little bit sore today. But yeah, a few people watched the live after it was live, which was quite good. I went back into the analytics today. There was a few more likes. There was a few more views. Now, I did have my wet palette out. That's been basically closed and put away. I'm going to be working on the metallics. So I quite like Retributor armor. I did do a painting video for Griff, the star player from Blood Bowl, which I did do my way of doing gold, which is Retributor armor, normally sort of just to add a bit of depth. You know, if it's on a flat surface or whatever, not so much needed. But say if it's like an armor piece, I normally put a wash, Reichland Flesh Shade, smash that all on, maybe layer this up a little bit more. And sometimes I will add a bit of silver to this. Also, what I do a lot of times, because, excuse me, damn, that drink's already getting to me. The bubbles. Call me Bubbles, everyone does. But yeah, I normally do a dark brown first. So I do, for some reason the names aren't coming to me tonight, but Rhinox Hide is the Citadel one that I use, but just use a really dark brown that's kind of like, looks a little bit almost towards black, but obviously you don't want black. But yeah, you want like a color. So if it is in the creases, if you do somehow, I don't know, miss a part, sorry, you will see the brown. But also, you have to remember a lot of times these paints are quite transparent. So whatever's underneath is going to show through. That's why some people are a little bit beginners or don't really understand how paint and stuff works as much. That's why they say if they spray it black, which most of us do, if you're painting brighter colors, it looks a little bit faint, it looks a little bit muddy, the color, and that's because you're seeing the transparent paint on top, the black is coming through underneath. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah. So yeah, so I'd use brown because it's fairly close to gold in a way, and when it does show up underneath, it does look quite nice. But I use that. But Citadel metallics are a little bit hit and miss. I do like Retributor armor. I do like Lead Belcher. But when it comes to some of the others, I mean, I've got a Vortex mixer now, so I don't really have that problem with the separation and all that sort of stuff. So a lot of them sort of separate or just looking like this is Iron Breaker, which I obviously haven't used in a while. And it just looks like kind of like a grey, dark grey or black. If I do the Vortex mixer on it for a bit, it will become like a nicer, it will mix those pigments together. But otherwise I use Vallejo. So I've got Vallejo, chrome, silver, gunmetal, and I do have copper, which I haven't used yet. And I have this gold, which is kind of like a antique greenish gold, like I guess a cold gold or a cooler gold, where the Retributor armor is like a warm gold. It's kind of like a reddish gold. I'm doing this on my wet palette, and Gaz Skull's like moving towards me. Maybe he's trying to hint that I need to finish him off. Yeah, but I'm not going to really worry about doing this on stream, but I was just going to show you how it can mix together quite nicely with these vortex mixers. I did show him last night, but there's good old Gazzy. Needs to get his arm stuck on and head and all that sort of stuff and jaw. But yeah, I'll see if anyone did join me, because I did share the link around a little bit. Discord, and I shared it. Discord and a bit of Facebook. Roger, the Royal Prawn, also known as Roger the Pirate, the pirate legend himself, is in the chat. Hello there, Roger. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. You might be bored, bored shitless seeing me talk about this and painting, but yeah, I'm going to, like, these orc boys are fairly done. I believe I've got 10 of them and the war boss, because I know you can only have 10 from memory but I have, I just need to finish them up. But unfortunately, because they've been sat in a box, and occasionally, like, say if I might move the box, they've sort of hit against each other a little bit. So like this one, unfortunately, his ear, the green is chipped off his ear. So yeah, I need to touch up the skin, but I thought I'd do the metals first. The prawn star himself, the legend. Interesting, to be honest. Well, I do appreciate you. I will be doing Funkin' Hungry live if you're around later on in about an hour. But I needed to verify my account, so I was going to go live on Funkin' Hungry last night, but I needed to wait 24 hours to verify the account. So I did jump on here last night and do a live, but I thought, just to pass time, I'll jump back on here, do a bit of a live, and then we'll do some Funkin' Hungry stuff. So I've got chrome. I don't want really chrome. I want silver. Now I do want my orcs to have a little bit of gold on their armor. Like if you've seen the logo for G the Hypersapien, it basically has some reds, some golds, blacks, whites. They're the kind of colors I'm doing for my orcs. You can't see it that well on camera because I've got this big ass light on, but yeah. Sort of like bluish green pants, desert color boots, some greens, obviously skin, some red clothing. But yeah, what time is the food arriving? I don't know. I was waiting for you to order it. You said you was gonna let me know. So yeah, whenever you're ready. Oh, I was going to say I've been working out, but I haven't lately, actually, especially doing Funkin' Hungry. If anything, I've been putting on weight. But yeah, cheers for noticing. Cheers for noticing. So yeah, I need to get these boys done so I can actually say I painted like this year, finished something this year. And I've got all these paint brushes, but none that I want to use for metallics. I will just use this one. The orc. You look fit there. Oh yeah, that's what all the girls tell me, Roger. They're like, oh yeah, you're so fit. I'm like, oh no. The orc. The orc. This is only a boy. This is a war boss here. Don't think like soft drink was the drink of choice. You know, when you're doing a live stream and all of a sudden you like get those burps and stuff cranking. But yeah, I appreciate you guys jumping on. So I try not to be quiet as I'm painting because, you know, like you kind of like when you're doing small details, you hold your breath and stuff like probably making weird faces, squinting and stuff, which is all good. But it's like trying to talk and concentrate and not make these look bad. Yeah. I don't know how entertaining it is because, you know, I'm not like, you know, good old Kenny. Also, I don't know if Kenny has like a dog that's crying behind him. So he's probably hungry, but if I feed him now, he's like, oh, he's funking hungry. But if I feed him now, then he's probably going to want to go to the toilet pretty soon, and then I have to jump off. And maybe I'll have to feed the poor little git some stage. Yeah. Should I do gold shoulder pads? Black and gold. I don't even know what my logo looks like. I know they have, you know, what gold, because I want the bosses and stuff to look obviously a little bit more flash than the boys. So maybe we might do, like, I wish I had a better setup so I could ask for some suggestions. Yeah, I haven't actually put it on tonight, but just for you, I'll do it. I'll show you that orcs like gold. You don't get this sort of content anywhere else, do you? This is the good stuff. Probably get like all gold paint and stuff on it. Yeah, well, you got that wrong. Around here we do gold teeth. Yeah, of course I like act like a complete twat on here. Can't, well, I do normally anyway, don't I? It's the old Harry himself. How's your boss for the what? Thought he was talking about me for a second. But yeah, I gotta rep the. Oh, this is my boss. So some may say that he's done, but me, it's probably like a week's worth of work in there still to go. The Discord, never heard of the place. Have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, the boss Nickrod is who I'm doing. So he's, and I probably won't get, I don't know if I'll get the base done because I want to do a fancy base and I haven't really got the materials yet. Probably do like maybe a jungle sort of environment for him possibly. So I don't really have, you know, like I probably want like plastic plants or whatever, like maybe some aquarium plants just to add a little bit of stuff. Just cut it out of the photo. Cut what out? Me? But yeah, obviously you can't really see him that well. I don't know if turning this off will help or make it worse. That makes it worse. But yeah, I still need to stick his chopper on the back, grapple hook, and he has a gun as well. And I still need to work on a lot of this. Really, like the only part, the skin's done, but I need to touch that up a little bit as well. I don't know. Was going to do that on stream, but I'll get some of these boys done. Gamers Grass does them. Yeah, they're like cardboard, aren't they? Or whatever they are, material. I've seen them, and I am buying the Seraphon box. Like it's out today, and I still haven't like paid for my invoice yet. So that's I don't know if I'll be able to like I will be able to afford it, but just to save on money, I might wait a fortnight. So he'll be done, but he might just be on a blank base until I finish that. We'll see what happens. I said that I won't be quiet when I'm painting, and all of a sudden here I am. Yeah. But I want to add some gold to the orcs. So you can't see it that well, but that shoulder pad, I've just added the gold, and the other part is still zenithal. So this one's just like white with a little bit of dark on it. Yeah, put a bit of that on it. It does kind of look nice. It looks nice against the black. I'll share some of these pictures to like Facebook and Discord and stuff after. Like, but yeah, I want to smash them out anyway and just take some half nice pictures and move on. Get these boys done. Yeah, some fiddly work. Bloody hairs. But yeah, I kind of like how the boys are looking. The scheme, red t-shirts, I guess. Desert boots, bluish green pants. But yeah, then like when I did the killer cans, because mainly it's just all metal, I didn't really know what to do. Like I kind of had my colors chose for these. Didn't really know what to do. Vehicles. Yeah, so Gamers Grass. I've reviewed a few of their products. I do like them. I've done the tufts, winter tufts. I've got some flowers that I'll probably do like a quick review of, even though, I'm not sure how interested some people are. Some people must find them interesting. I've got the flowers, but I don't have like jungle trees or plants. Hiding in the shadow. Yeah, I'll just put the base up and say that I completed Snickrot, but he's just so sneaky, no one can see him. To walk away from him, but then he'd be lonely. How could you just walk away from him for a few days? See, me and Gaz, he's like always on my shoulder. Like I just cruise around all the time, and there he is. For some reason, he doesn't have a face and doesn't have an arm. But yeah, that is true. It's like someone in the Discord the other night was saying that it's getting late, they're going to bed, but is there anything that anyone can point out? It's like have some rest, come back to it with, like when you're not tired, have another look at it. Gold looks great on boys. Yeah, I do like my gold. So it's like I know a lot of people are going to probably think they're evil sons because they're wearing red, but I just chose a color that I love. So I was going to do them like I know some of the orc boys, they have kind of like singlets, wife beaters, or whatever you call them in your countries, vests, I believe they call it in England. I was going to do them kind of like white beige, but yeah, Incubi Darkness for the pants with a blue wash, Wazdaka Red with a red wash and a corn layer. They're quite basic, but they do look pretty nice. Yeah, what else do we need to do? I don't want to obviously like go too crazy with them. just enough so they look good on the tabletop. Yeah, that gold definitely, I like the way it looks in the parts that I've done, but I'll use it kind of just on little bits, shoulder pads here. So we'll do that around here. Yeah, definitely adds a little bit of a pop of a different color. There's not too many colors on him, so it's not overbearing. You need to pick out those little tiny details, the tooth and all that stuff. Yeah, so he's kind of done it. Obviously, I need to wash this gold back up. There's a little bit of silvers that I need to do on him as well. So I do have my silver out. I'll do this as well. Just probably need to change my brush. This is a fairly okay brush, but I need to do a look. I'm doing really fine details now. I have no idea where I put my. This is normally the one I use for metallics, the Army Painter Masterclass. That's been a little bit beat up. So what are we doing? We want to sort of work on some of the metallics I've already done just to make them pop a bit more. So he has a little bit of a metal stud on his wrist here, the wrap. Maybe that gun a little bit. We'll do a couple of lines around the gun just to make those panels stand out a bit more. Maybe that rivet. It's like the weapons are kind of done. I've even weathered them up a little bit with some browns and added some grime, but can still just make some of these rivets pop. Probably look like a right twat concentrating. But yeah. You know, yet again, this is stuff that most people probably wouldn't want to spend this much time on just a few orc boys. Got to show love to the boys though, right? The other stud on the other wristband. He even has a ring. Oh, bloody hell. He has like a nose ring. Yeah, sorry, you were saying like my back of my head or whatever there. We have just because some of these panels on him I've just colored either like it looks like I've colored them dark brown just to block them in. I need to add the silvers here. You know, like adding the silvers when there's all these colors on isn't the best idea. Like have to kind of be a bit careful that I don't stuff up and get the silver all over him, which I'm pretty sure I'm doing because I've got some silver flakes on my fingers. Because really, ideally, I'd be using a painting hand or whatever to put these on, so I'm not, so my fingers aren't all over the model. There we go. Here we go, lads. Let's crump some of those beaky gits. mean, as I said, I'm pretty happy with how these came out, kind of fairly basic in the way of just bases, washes, layers. But I've still, like, I've taken my time and all the layers are quite smooth. They're not all, just because you're doing like basic techniques or you're not like putting that much work into them doesn't mean that you can't be like nice and neat and still make them look nice. But yeah, and that's so. I mean, most of the time I do a gunmetal grey as a base, then a silver, and maybe pick it out with chrome if I was really putting in some effort. But again, with these, I'm skipping gunmetal grey. I don't want them that dark as well. Just doing silver. I'll probably do like a black wash over the silvers if I'm doing, excuse me, if I'm doing the gold, like washing that and building that back up, I may as well do it to the silvers as well. Trying not to, I mean, you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm trying not to do it so it looks like I'm like looking at my lap. And I've got this finger for some reason out here just because I don't have the painting handle to wrap around. Yeah, little, bring out some of those panels with a few lines and stuff. But yeah, he's looking a lot more complete now. He has some silvers and golds. Well, the bases are fairly done as well. I've just put on some like texture on the base just to make it look a bit like gravel. I've already dry brushed them a little bit. I've added some little blood splatters. Yeah, they're fairly close to being done, unfortunately, because I keep on handling them. Some of the paint's rubbing off on certain like little areas. Am I talking like too quiet? Because I kind of last night, I think I don't know, I was being quite loud or whatever. My voice was just starting to get sore at the end. So hopefully I'm loud enough for everyone to hear properly. Doing the tips on his feet here, steel caps. Yeah. Steel caps. Yeah. A little bit of silver on his belt here. He's pretty much done now. I've got like 10 more today. Still need to do the washes and the highlight on him. Hey. What is going on, Steve? Just doing another quick live on here just to try to get some hobby done. And I'm going to jump onto Funkin' Hungry in about half an hour, give or take. Pretty sure on Funkin' Hungry, some other people might jump on the live as well. But yeah, I need to get some of these models done. And I just feel like, if I'm doing a live, it's kind of like pushing me a little bit to get them done. So if I wasn't live, and I'd probably keep on getting up out my chair and like, going and doing other stuff and not just sticking to the task. If I'm on live, I'm kind of, have to stick to the hobby area. So while I'm talking, I may as well get some models done. Yeah, that's it. Force yourself to paint, but also, like time goes a little bit quicker when you have people to talk to. And as I said, if I was trying to attempt these and I wasn't on live, I'd probably be making excuses like, "Oh, I need a drink. I need to do this," even though my dog for some reason is crying in the background. I think he's making out like he hasn't ate before in his life. But yeah, if I was like watching TV or editing, he wouldn't be laying there crying. He'd probably be sleeping. But for some reason, when I'm at my hobby desk, he wants to lay behind me and cry or whatever. Yeah, feel free to chat, ask questions, or whatever you may want to do. I guess before I go onto the other live, I'll have to make sure this dog has his food before he dies of starvation. I'm sure that's the reason he's crying. Might chuck him a biscuit to try and see if I can tie him over for a minute. Well, yeah, as soon as I got the biscuit bag out, all of a sudden he's gone quiet and, "Oh, I'm a really well-behaved dog." Now he just doesn't know how to move around the bin that's there all of a sudden. Need to find a place to hang my Warhammer. Yeah, because when I started doing videos more, especially on Funkin' Hungry, it just looked really bare back there. So I just like hung up all sorts of stuff. Got like Black Templar. Oh, that's, man, this is annoying. The Black Templar. I've got Stormcast. I've got Orcs and Chaos. And then this one is, I think that might have become in Indomitus. I'm not sure. It's just like Space Marine stuff. Yeah, just like makes it a little less plain and a little bit more interesting, I guess. I've got lots of art though. I've got some Stan Lee prints. When I went to a Comic Con once, I bought, it was like half of Leonardo Ninja Turtles and half Shredder. So I've got a few different prints and stuff, but they're just locked away so they keep nice. But I need to like get them laminated and stuck up, I guess, eventually. Yeah, yeah. See, with the Warhammer ones, I didn't do that because most of these are fairly nice, but sometimes they're on top of the sprue, and the sprue is sort of like scratching them and all that stuff. But when it comes to like the Stan Lee one and stuff, I've got them ones. Probably would like to get them framed or laminated at least, because I actually paid for them ones. And the Stan Lee one was when I met Stan Lee in person. You got an autograph, picture with him, and you got like a fairly big laminated picture of him. Yeah, definitely have some stuff. It's just really like need to eventually paint up these walls because they've just been this color for a while, and paint them up, make the area look a little bit more nice. I don't know why I don't like painting metallics that much these days, especially when you're me and you're stupid enough to leave them last, and then you're worried that you're going to ruin all like the nice work by adding on some silvers and whatever. Hey, what's up? I'm not sure if I know who that is. Are you from Discord or Facebook? Or are you using a name that I might not be familiar with but might have spoke to you before? Yeah. I've kept these quite dark and now I'm adding the brighter silver. Kind of wondering if I should have just like left it kind of dark. Oh, awesome. I appreciate it. Yeah, I posted on Facebook. Well, yeah, I appreciate you dropping in. Welcome, and it's nice to speak to you. Yeah, I've been trying to sort of interact on Facebook quite a lot more this year, trying to interact with people, share my hobby, but also I'm always interested to see what other people are working on. So yeah, if you want to share on my Facebook or whatever what you're working on, I mean, I could even look at it now, or you can share it obviously anytime that you're ready or want to share. I'm just like turning this model around, trying to find all the silver parts because he's got all these spikes around his wrist that are the and also little hairs and stuff. But yeah, he has these braces on his wrists and they're all studded. So I've painted them dark brown. And now I'm just adding the silver on top. And then again, a lot of people don't put this much work into just troops, but I kind of want my stuff to look kind of nice. So if I do go to hobby shops or have games and stuff, at least I guess everyone has a certain standard they set themselves. So I'm going to have to add like a black wash to this just to knock it back and help it blend in with the other colors. And then just like maybe I'll do a bit more of a highlight on some of the sharp edges of a silver. So I did sort of miss a step here. A lot of times I use gunmetal gray and then build up to a silver. And for some reason I got light in, but I don't really want to just stick it like this in the way so no one can definitely, you can't really see what I'm doing hobby wise, which is bad enough. Then you won't be able to see what I'm doing, so you won't see my ugly mug. Right, that's not looking too bad. Can't really see it, but I've added the silver around the chains. Process of moving. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know who you are now. Yeah, hopefully, anyway, unless there's another dude that was talking to me about moving. But yeah, all the best with that. And yeah, I'm sure that you can't really, get to your hobby. So is he done? I'm sure there's stuff I've missed. No, we haven't spoken. Oh, well, there you go. You answered my question. Yeah. Yeah, so this is just my second. I did a test live yesterday. I do need to sort my setup so I can actually kind of show you more what I'm painting. But yeah, I thought I'd share this one a little bit more. And now the dog's gobbled up those biscuits. He's crying again. Which is always fantastic when you're trying to do other stuff. And yeah, these have been sitting around too long, so they're starting to sort of get some of those micro like hairs and little bits of dust and stuff on them, which is always annoying because when you're painting it, you don't want to paint over those hairs and stick them down onto the model. So I need to get these finished so I can put them in an area that's not going to be dusty. Because that's the joys of having a dog in your hobby room. Sitting there crying, whistling, shaking, putting hair everywhere. Yeah, like you love them, and you know, I'd be devastated if he wasn't around. And it's always great company when he's not sitting there moaning. I mean, as I said before, if I was watching a film or editing videos or like whatever like that, he'll be sleeping or just laying there quietly. But for some reason, he can hear me talking and he wants to be a part of the show. Right, so we've added some more silvers to these panels, little bits and pieces. Not too bad. Yeah, definitely want to set it up though. So, I mean, what would people really prefer, to see my annoying face or see the models being painted? Probably the models. We probably need to set it up so it's like the camera's facing down onto this. Don't want to overload the brush too much. Yeah, that's it. You know, as soon as he's on camera, he'll steal the show. And then when I come back, everyone will be like, "Why are you here? We want the dog." But he's one of those dogs, he's laying there, he's comfortable. He looks like he's basically almost ready to sleep, but then he's still, you know, making a noise. Right, let's, at least when it's bigger details, I can kind of just like smash on the metallic. When it's those like really small studs that I've already done a dark brown and a lighter brown on top and kind of left some in the shadows, like I've left some of the dark brown in the shadows. I don't really want to get silver on that, but when it's a big panel, and kind of like freely move around the brush a little bit more. But yeah, it's kind of my bad. I don't know why I paint normally the skin first, then the clothing, then the metals. Probably should really do the metals first. So at least like they're out the way. Because now I'm worrying about getting some of this metal flakes and paint all over the other stuff. I'm probably going to have to touch up some of this green and reds and stuff anyway. Not because I've got silver on it, just because, as I said, normally I'd use a painting handle, but I'm just holding them in my hands, so the oils in my hands probably going to scrape off some of this green and all that. But yeah, I will share this on Facebook in a bit. Normally on the weekends these days, I share what I'm working on, and I'll ask what other people like working on. Ask them to share. I'll probably do that after this. And then anyone that is joining me tonight can see what I am doing. You know, when you're concentrating, you're kind of like holding your breath and you're probably like pulling weird faces to try to, I don't know, like the weird faces help, right? They help you to get the paint on. You have to make a weird face, otherwise you're not really painting. All right. But you're not done the silver on the back, the wrists, because he's got all these. He's got these belt buckles and he's got all these panels. Okay, so normally though that I'll paint this and then I'll like say I do the washing and I realize I've missed a part, like, oh whoops, I've missed a panel. Looking good. Appreciate that. Well, you probably meant the model, but yeah. So I want to do some of the panels gold as well. So I want to incorporate some gold into my army, but I don't want them to look like, you know, like C3PO or nothing. Yeah, from concentrating, you like, I'm not that bad, but I remember I had friends when I was younger, and you know when you play like video games and they have their tongue and stuff sticking out and they're pulling a weird face when they're racing or whatever. I can just imagine of what you look like when you're not looking at yourself on stream. Yeah. He should be good for silver. I want to do one of these panels on his shoulder pad gold. Might do that one silver, like this little tooth shaped one. I'm gonna be so happy when they're done though, because there's just these little details I need to finish. Then I'll need to wash them and highlight them up a little bit more, just the details I'm working on. And then I can do the rims of the base and they're pretty much done. Lean where they want to go, yeah. So it's like when they turn the car left and stuff, it's like, even though this is my left. But yeah, like they get right into right into it. But yeah, once I get kind of all these odds and ends done, I can start doing miniatures just for the stream. So I might start working on miniatures just for the stream, so you can kind of see the progress. So I have all these sort of models I need to definitely get finished, so then I can say that they're done, put them out the way, work on some new stuff. Got like a whole army of Gloomspike gits that I've basically built, ready to be primed and worked on. I might do like a video for that as sort of a speed paint, not necessarily speed paint, but just a batch painting sort of video where I'm painting them all. I don't know, sounds kind of like it might be fun to do. Have gonna get the new Seraphon as well, so really can't really sort of treat myself and paint some new models until I show these some love, get these done, finish these off, which I should have ages ago. Yeah. Yeah, that's like me. I did say it at the beginning of the stream, but basically I've got this squad of boys, Gazskull, Snickrot. We've got a Squig buggy that's fairly done. That's the Squig buggy. And then I have the crew that I need to finish off, stick them on it. But yeah, once I've done, I even have a big, what is it, a mech with the big attack shotgun. He needs to be finished. But yeah, once they're done, I'll be happy. But yeah, definitely one of those people that work on a project and start working on another one, without finishing. Is anyone working on hobby tonight, or the morning? It's probably the morning for most of you lads. See, we've done like 50 minutes and I've painted a few little bits and pieces. I mean, it's good because time flies in it, you know. I'm enjoying chatting to everyone, but you never get as much done as you plan. Like little details on 10 boys really doesn't sound like it's that much. It's actually, oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, so I'm in Adelaide, so it's 8:37 here. Yeah, it would be about that. Man, I am glad. Ah, yeah, nice. I am glad I added some of gold to this because it just really, I don't know, brings out like another element. It's a really nice addition to the colors I've already got. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because when I used to get on some lives of people that are in the UK, it was like really early hours of the morning here. I normally either had to stay up late and not sleep or wake up early, like really early in the morning to catch the lives. Don't really do that much anymore. It was more so when a lot of orc creators did it around COVID times. And I kind of like to be, I guess, involved a little bit in that. So I used to wake up early or whatever, set my clock or whatever, and go on their lives, chat and stuff. And metallics are kind of weird sometimes. They don't really want to always go with the gold more so than the silver. It might be the brand of paints. They just kind of go on heavy. Don't really look that smooth until you do a couple of coats. But yeah, it's definitely each time I add a different color or just block in another color, it definitely comes to life more, which is good. Gold. Get back to the comments in a second. Let's just put some more of that on. Oh, of course. All right, they're talking about time. Oh, sweet, bit chilly there tonight, Roger. Morning, G. Hey, traveler. I'm just finishing off some boys that I have been wanting to do for a while, and I guess that's why I jumped on the stream because if I do them myself, I'll just find excuses not to get them done. So yeah, just a group of boys, the new boys. Yeah, see, I like the cold. I think it was because I was born in England. I don't know, but my family don't really like the cold, so I don't know what it is. I'm the type of person that has the fan on even when it's cold. I would have the fan on now, but I don't want the background noise. But yeah, I'm normally the type that's still wearing a singlet in winter and stuff like that. I don't really feel the colds that much, really, compared to most people who are saying it's cold. Yeah, it's still a little bit warm here. Like it's quite humid tonight, so the air or whatever, or just the humidity, I can definitely feel it. Yeah, I mean, I've shown other people these boys, and they're like, they're basically done. Like, I don't know. I am quite happy with them, but there's just little bits and pieces that I'm not happy with, and I keep on seeing details that I haven't finished. Like the wrap on this one's weapon, I haven't washed and laid up. Where I've done it on some, I must have stopped before I got to this one. Looks like he's the only one that I've missed. Maybe him. But yeah, I've sort of like a lot of them I've washed and layered up the wraps and the bandages or whatever on them. But yeah, I'm one of those people as well. Like as I've said, I've obviously missed a couple of them, the washes and stuff on their wraps, because I have this bad habit, and especially when you're batch painting, you're waiting for, like, say I've probably gone through all of them, and he might have been still, I still might have been waiting for stuff to dry on him, so I moved on to another stage, but didn't go back and finish that stage. But yeah, definitely like these sculpts, like these models. Obviously, they're a bit annoying that you can't do as much with them as you could to the old orcs. You can't really, you can, but it's a lot more work, like chopping bits up and using sprue goo or whatever to fill gaps. So I was into the hobby when I was a kid, but then I stopped around 17 and got back into it a couple of years, like before COVID. So I got in back into it the end of 8th edition 40k, and it would have been what, second edition for Age of Sigmar. So I didn't really get any games. I got a few games of 9th edition, but a lot of my stuff isn't painted, so I kind of rushed some Beast Snagger stuff to get some games in. But yeah, I've known and enjoyed Warhammer and other tabletop games since a kid. But yeah, then when I was just before I left school, I stopped doing the hobby, and I actually got back into it because I saw Conquest in the newsagents, and obviously because they had that really cheap edition, I bought a couple of the cheap first issues. It's that kind of, oh, this will give me something to do because I don't like do as much gaming as I used to. Just a lot of other hobbies I did have, I stopped doing as much. I'm like, oh, I'll buy this and just have a bit of fun with it. But obviously, you only get a couple of paints. And at first, I was trying to do brush on primer, and then I just started buying some rattle cans and some other colors and some better paint brushes and stuff like that. And before you know it, because you're keeping, because some of the hobby tools I had were quite crap, so I ended up subscribing to the Conquest magazine. They just send you the cheap clippers from Citadel. They don't send you the good ones. So they send you kind of like a lot of the budget stuff, and just after trying it, it just was a little bit crappy, some of the tools. So I just slowly kept on buying new stuff. And, like, and I do like Space Marines, and they had Death Guard as well in that. But I'm like, if I'm spending all this money, keep on buying these magazines, and I'm getting stuff that I'm not necessarily like. At first it was fun because I was getting back into the hobby, but I'm like, if I'm spending all this money, I may as well buy models and stuff that I want. So when it got to my birthday, which is in October, funny enough, I'm like, I'll get some orcs. And so I started getting back into orcs, which I love. But then I started to get into like Age of Sigma and other stuff. So yeah, 4th edition. Well, I've been going longer, but I stopped for so long. So when I was about 16, 15, 16, I was playing quite a lot with a friend, but he left school before I did. Like I guess technically finished year 12. He dropped out of, I'm pretty sure, year 10. So he was working and had money. So he was able to buy, like tanks and whatever he wanted. But we played quite regularly, and I've only had a few games. I basically need to get my army properly done so I can get involved in games a bit more. But I am really enjoying just the painting and interacting with like the community, all that stuff. It's really fun. Got all my snaggers from eBay, the same poses in every squad. Just made the units clear for me. I did tweak a few Squig Riders yesterday, and they look much better. Yeah, see, I'm kind of like that as well. I do like to kit bash and convert, but I'd never get stuff done if I just, because I kind of get lost in that process as well. I do even like doing bases. Like Gazskull, his base, I've done quite a lot too. I do have some of the base that he comes with, but I've just like added quite a lot of different textures and little pieces, and some mushrooms, some skulls, some barbed wire that I've added on myself. I added on some extra girder bits. It was a model from a Necron model that my brother gave me, and the Necron model had some scenic stuff on his base. So I added some of this from the Necron model. And then this is from the Necron model as well. And then some of it's from the Orc base himself. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing his base, and I need to paint that up. But yeah, if I'd done like a custom theme and like all that sort of stuff, I'd never get stuff done really. Yeah, so the default base kind of, he looks a little bit like Marty McFly. Like, he's like on collapsed terrain, but it looks like he's trying to balance on it. So I did use some of that because like these big pillars and stuff, because it looks like a collapsed building. But I also wanted him to, he is a little bit sort of, oh yeah, man, like cowabunga dude. Got his foot up on a, but yeah, really enjoyed putting that base together and building that model. Still obviously need to show him some love. So after I do my boys, I need to get my boss Necrop model done, and I need to get my Gaz done. I have other stuff I need to get done, but I need to get these done and put them out the way. What a beast, though. Tubular, man. Well, that's what I didn't do. Didn't add some like really crappy music that they have for default. Don't even know where that went. I've got my chats up. Probably doesn't matter too much anyway. Really, really bad default music. But yeah, eventually I'll work out how to do the stream better and find some music that I can actually use that's a little bit more entertaining than this crap. Rock. Feeding the ducks. So bad. But yeah, I'll be jumping on Funkin' Hungry soon if anyone does want to join me there. Obviously, a lot of you guys in the chat are here because you enjoy the hobby. But Funkin' Hungry is my second YouTube channel where I do like more food related stuff, and I'll be jumping on there for a live. I might be joined by a couple of other people on the panel if you want to join that. If you go into my G the Hypersapien page, if you are interested, if you go to the channel, you scroll across to how it's got playlist, community, channels. I've got Funkin' Hungry in there if you do want to find that and join. If not, I appreciate you obviously being here and giving me someone to speak to, or people to speak to here. Yeah, it's funny. It's like having kids and stuff. You know, maybe one kid might excel and be better than others at certain stuff, but each orc boy to me, it's like I can't just slap on some pigment and make them look crap and just like, you know, put them to the side and say they're done. I need to like make them like look fairly presentable and nice. But yeah, I feel like they're pretty nice to look at. Gotta love a good orc boy. But yeah, one reason it took me so long, I never knew kind of what color scheme I wanted to do it. But then when I started getting channel art done, you know, when I was getting people to design it for me and stuff, they was asking obviously what colors I want to use, and I just kind of went with colors that I like. And obviously green skin, I'm a bit of a green skin lover. Like I don't do mutt orcs a weird color. I like the green on the orcs. Red's one of my favorite colors, so I put that as some of their clothing. And I do like blacks and whites. They're kind of orky as well to represent like Gork and Mork. Yeah, I like gold as a color. I kind of like the combination of black, gold, and red. So that's why I kind of added them to it. And then just like for the pants, I've done them all Ink You by Darkness and did, I think their boots. It's a desert color. Not sure where it is. It's called like Samazri Desert or something. But yeah, like a desert color boots. But yeah, the gold's looking more nice now. I've done a second coat of gold. It's kind of got rid of some of those brush marks and just some of that like crappy looking stuff. So yeah. So I've only recently made any effort for basing. Yeah, I was kind of like that when I was younger. When I was younger, I did like painting and hanging out with friends and painting and stuff. I've always enjoyed painting and the art side of stuff, but I did used to rush models to get some on the tabletop, or, you know, like not put as much effort into it. And yeah, kind of like that with basin. Most of the time I used really fine sand, so it's like on the base and just coloured that in. Yeah, no, that's fair if you see them as playing pieces. You know, as I just mentioned, I did used to sort of rush them, or not even necessarily rush, just not as put. Like, you know, these boys would be on the tabletop and already having games and stuff. I wouldn't be going back and picking out little tiny bits and pieces. Just whack a couple of tufts on. Yeah, you gotta love your tufts. Just a bit of fine sand, because I don't like it. I don't like when people use chunky sand or chunky pebbles. To me, it just looks like they're, you know, like at a beach with pebbles, and it just looks like they're in a fish tank. You know, in the fish tank when it has all the chunky pebbles in it. But each to their own. I kind of like more like these are basic bases, but see how like it's quite flat. There is some texture on it, like there is some raised areas and stuff, but it's kind of like a flat surface really. But these are quite basic. Obviously, again for the boys, gas skull like I showed before is a little bit more, and then I've got the war boss here. He's actually not on his base, so I can just like that base. That base is a little bit more. It's still in the same idea, because I did him around the same time as I did these boys, but I just kind of did a little bit more raised areas. Normally I put more skulls and stuff on it, but just didn't really feel like he needed that much more. It was PVA glue and green flock for me. Yeah. Tufts for heroes. Yeah, I've got a lot of tufts because I did a few. Like I did some reviews on them back in the day. It was just PVA. Yeah, PVA and just sand, really like fine sort of grit, which definitely it's kind of what I've done with these, just because I want to get them done quicker. And if it's like a more crazy model, like I haven't based Snickrot yet, because I want him to look a little bit more different. Might do a little bit more, but yeah, with my cans as well, they have a similar basin, but I do have a little bit of barbed wire that I've added to it. Can't really see that well, but barbed wire and some skulls on them ones, just because they're bigger pieces. Flash Goths, I like it. Yeah, well, that's it. You know, as well, if like I make any mistakes, I know that I've made them, so obviously I know where it is. But then if someone else is looking at them, they won't notice that sort of stuff. Yeah, well, that's it as well. When you're a kid, you can't afford all the stuff, or obviously, sometimes you don't have all the time. But yeah, as well, that we didn't have the same 7 likes on the stream. Cheers, Roger. Yeah, when you're an adult, we didn't have as well when you're younger, or even if you were older when you started a hobby many years ago. Now we have YouTube, and even Warhammer obviously does its own shows and stuff. We have a lot of access, I guess, to a lot of how to do this stuff that some people may not know how to do. Being a poor teenager and barely being able to afford it, models, yeah, base and stuff. Yeah, well, that's it. Sometimes it was, the choice of paints, base and stuff, and models. And I mean, most of the time, especially when you're younger, you want more models. You want new models. So you buy new models, and obviously maybe a bit of super glue or plastic glue, and you're sort of cutting corners when it comes to basing and stuff. You're just using just cheap sand. All we got is in the White Dwarf, and sometimes you now get them in the codexes where it's just a few steps. I like paint this red, wash this red, highlight this orange. appreciate that, Lupus. Cheers for dropping in. But yeah, I will jump over to Funkin' Hungry soon, but I am enjoying talking to you all. Of course, the Funkin' Hungry, because it said 24 hours and it would be available to stream, and now it's saying it looks like streaming access for this channel has taken longer than usual. Please check back again soon. So it's like, it just means I can stay on this a bit longer. But of course, it's like good I checked that so I didn't just turn this stream off and not have like a second stream to go to. I think it actually might be ready to stream now, which is all good. The old, like, now apply the highlights. Yeah. And you always, when you're younger, you wonder why doesn't mine look like that? But it's like an heavy metal team that are doing those, like, it's an heavy metal standard painting guide, so it looks smooth as, and sometimes they sort of lie and say that they'll say that they paint brown, but really they've like say mixed brown with another color to get like a color, so it's not exactly the same match as when you're using like whatever they tell you to use, corn red or whatever. But yeah, it's like the box art as well. It tells you the paints they use, like, oh, I use this and this. But really, a lot of times, heavy metal team, they mix in a couple of colors to get to what they do. There's actually a really good heavy metal guide on the internet that Infernal Brush shared or put together with some other people. And it's like an actual guide of what they really do to achieve it. So yeah, sometimes they will mix two colors together. They'll tell you the ratio, and obviously like they'll say to glaze it on or whatever. Yeah, but how? It's like, oh, paint this red and do this, but you know, like they just expect you to know how to apply it. Heaps. Helps a ton, yeah, for having a community. The group I play with is spread out all over. We have a wee group for sharing stuff, but it's good to get out there, neutralize and loot ideas. Yeah, especially when it comes to orcs. I know not all of us watching are orc people, and I know some people aren't even into Warhammer, but I still appreciate them being here. But yeah, when with orcs, I mean, even to me, Space Marines, like when I finally get around to doing some Marines, I'm pretty sure I don't want, say if I'm doing Ultramarines, I don't want them all to just be, oh, just blue. My idea is I kind of want them to be a little bit more individualized. Maybe not for every model, but you know, like you'd expect maybe like someone's customized their armor a little bit, even if they're an ultramarine. They might have like been bored in between battle and like say like painted, I don't know, a smiley face on one of their shoulder pads. If anyone knows the game Army of Two, you could customize, you could yeah, I'm just saying, I don't mind Smurfs though, you know, Smurfs are happy chaps. But yeah, the Army of Two, you could customize their armor. So sometimes their face plates had flames on it and camo designs, and I would just like incorporate that, I feel, into my Marines. But yeah, my Space Wolves, Night Wolves, they're purple armor anyway. I did like one test model and never did it again. Nah, I'm gonna do Smurfs just for you. Just for you, and I'm gonna like share them any opportunity I can with you. Yeah, like a lot of games, it kind of started off really good, and then the second one they had some nice added bits to it, but yeah, it just dropped off. also on this screen, because I've been showing my miniatures, but just to make out like I look all professional and stuff. Where is it? Don't even know what I'm doing. Can put this background on when I'm just talking. Yes, yes, I am. I am sad, like a clown with the tears, and I am sick, fully sick, mate. All right. So I reckon I might jump on Funkin' Hungry in a second, but if anyone has any questions or just, I know you're not really seeing the painting side of stuff, but is this kind of enjoyable enough for people to watch? Do you want me to carry on streaming? Like, not sure if I'll do every day. I'll probably do it like more over the weekend because I do videos, like I film and edit quite a lot. So I'll probably do that more so during the week, try and get in a couple of streams in the weekend. And yeah, as I said, eventually I need to set up like a second camera so I can like show you what I'm painting. Or do I even need this camera, like the one where you can see me talking? Do I need that, or should I just do the drop down? Yeah, awesome. Drop down one so you can see what I'm doing. But yeah, we'll work it out as we go. I just enjoy interacting with you all. Yeah, that's it. Those damn drop bears. You walking around at night, you have to be aware that they're going to drop down. And then if they're not around, you've got the kangaroos that can beat the shit out of you. All right, well, I'm going to go back into YouTube and see what it said. Get set up to live stream now. Don't worry, you'll have a chance to review settings before you're live. All right, so it looks like I can go live on Funkin' Hungry now, but I'll have a quick look at the comments or the live chat. Laugh out loud. All right, so I appreciate everyone dropping in and having a chat. Really appreciate it. I will be back. I might do a live tomorrow around this sort of a similar time, and hopefully I can chat to more of you then. And I might see if I can set up the camera so I can show you what I'm painting. But if not, we'll have another chat and we'll go from there. But yeah, I appreciate everyone in the chat. And if you're not in the chat and you're watching this after, I appreciate it. All right, I'll catch everyone later. Cheers. I'll be on Funkin' Hungry though if you are interested in chatting some more. We can talk Warhammer there. We can talk other stuff. All right. Cheers, everyone.